started, let me just show you how powerful this indicator can do. Um, the first thing is that I'm looking for market movement. So if the markets are consolidating, as you see here on the left-hand side, these trade signals I avoid. I'm looking at a 1-hour chart, so I avoid when the markets are consolidating. And not until the market there's a clear direction will I pay attention to these alerts. Now, this is a breakout trade. Notice the trend line breakout. Forex Trend Rider gives us an alert, but then there's the retracement. Wait for the retracement to finish. When green candles appear again, take your trade and to the top. From the swing low here to the top, that's about 142 pips. Now, the strategy is supposed to let you know when this rally is over. I tend to exit at a top because if you would have waited till the candles turn red again, then you would have only made 55 pips. So that was 146 pips. And that's the only difference from the manual that I deviate from. Here's the pound. This is a pound yen. So this is a trade signal generated on the 20th of this month. And notice that the whole period for the past 3 days, it never turned green. And from the swing high to the swing low, that was about 160 pips. And it's still in a downtrend as long as these candles are still red. That is the Forex Trend Rider. It can recognize overall direction of the market for long periods of time. Let's look at some more examples. This is a gold chart. Excuse me. Again, we had a sell signal on gold, and from February 11th all the way to February 18th, gold was in a strong downtrend. Then we have a buy signal, but the overall direction, if you look at this chart, is to the downside. So this is just a retracement. And you can take this trade, just make sure, but if you exit it when we got a sell signal, pretty much would have been flat on this trade. And you would have made it up on this trade because there's a sell signal. So from February the 26th all the way to March 8th. So that's a significant move. And we made a huge amount of pips to the downside. Then it turns green. And again, as long as the candles are green, there's no reason to get out of the trade until there's a red candle that appears. So from here to here, that's 213 pips. There's another trade signal to the downside. And again, these are nice sell-off, and then there's consolidation. We have a buy signal, but then a sell signal. Of course, you would go with the sell signal since the candles are consistently red. You stay in that trade, stay in that trade. Most likely I would have exited at the bottom because there is a support down here from March the 8th. That would have been a great exit. Then what happens? Market turns around, heads north, and there, as long as the candles are green, 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 then it turns red, exit the trade. This trade probably would have not made any, well, yeah, it's about 120. Still would have made money on this one if you exit it when it turns red. This trade did not work out because the overall direction of the market's in an uptrend. We're looking at a 4-hour chart. And we have a buy signal on the 15th. Gold, and the high was over 400 pips. Still green. That means that this is most likely a retracement. Unless a red candle appears, there's no reason to get out of that trade. Here are 2 trades that lasted at least 2 days. Buy signal on pound Swiss. Again, trend rider indicator will stay green as long as the market's in an uptrend. It's 99 pips. if you exited when the candle turned red, that would have been 69. Then the market's reversed. What I'll do is I'll draw a trend line that will confirm what I'm seeing in price. This is a ascending wedge. So Trend Rider will recognize this trend line break, generates a sell signal, and from April 6th all the way till April 9th, so 3 days, down Swiss, strong downtrend, 319 pips. Now, when markets are consolidating, I will avoid trading or even taking any signals and just wait for a breakout. And this was a breakout trade. There's no trade signal here, no trade. There's a sell signal here, retraces and then turns red. I would have entered that trade. Again, I use my trend line to confirm what I'm seeing in price. So we have a sell signal, a bit of a retracement, and then here's your trade. It happened a day later, but it doesn't matter as long as it turns red. We had a previous sell signal, about 70 pips, still red. So this has the potential to go even lower. This is the Euro Japanese yen, and this is the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart generally will filter out all the noise on smaller time frames. And here's a good example. Sell signal back on March 18th, and the candles will still red. They turn green over here, but I would have exited down at the support because there's so much accumulation down there. It's 144 pips, the downside. Then 4-hour chart trade signal. When this candle was finished, your entry would have been here. And markets, notice they continue to turn green. It will continually green, 130 pips. If you would have waited till the candles turned red, that would have been about 50 pips. Still a gain on this pair. And then again here we have a sell signal. It retraces and puts in about 80 pips to the downside. There's a retracement, but what happened? It turned around, headed south, and now market's pretty much consolidating. It's in an uptrend, but the candles are still showing red. So we have to wait and see when the next buy or sell signal is generated. And that's it. There you have it on Forex Trend Rider. If you'd like to purchase this indicator, I'll put the link on the bottom of this YouTube. Have a good weekend.